All right, hey guys, it's Jack again. Obviously, I do not know what I'm doing when it comes to just video technology, yada yada. And it's ironic because my job requires me to be very proficient, or ostensibly be proficient with technology, and it's like Patches O'Houlihan said in Dodgeball with Vince Vaughn. You guys look like a bunch of retards trying to fuck a doorknob out there. Um, this setup is actually disgraceful. It is on a kitchen or like hygiene bathroom sink, even though the bathroom is like on the other side of the room. You know what? While I'm at it, I'll show you. I'll show you my little setup. Because I think a lot of people are under the impression of like, oh, if you're in the military, it's like 1946 where you sleep in a tent or a hooch with like 48 racks spread apart. So this is a bottom rack, top rack. My buddy deployed early. He's on like combat cargo. Got some of my Legos, life motivation. Just my Switch. Playing a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters lately. I'm been getting into Dune because I really want to see the new movie. I love the guy who directs this movie. He did Blade Runner 2049 and Sicario. Denis Villeneuve, however you properly pronounce his name. So I need to like get into this before the movie comes out later this month. Just some books, mangas, getting into Super, which the Super manga is a totally different world than the Super anime. Like, the Super anime is actually pretty disappointing. The Moro arc, which I'm kind of started at, is some good soup. Maybe I'll make another video or have another chat about getting into that. And this is my little thingamajig that masquerades as a poster, and I love it. And then this bathroom. There we go. Look at my bald ass. This bathroom is shared with another room over next door. They're called your headmate. So there you have it. If you had questions if I was living in an actual prison or not, no, I have a room to myself, luckily. A lot of people in my shop and section actually envy that quite a bit. Those are my nice boots I got, I think, back in April. And then my skimpy bald ass. But before I got like entirely off topic, here is my wretched setup. Here are my notes about the movies I'm going to talk about. Kind of my list order, sync. Here's a Super Saiyan 4 Goku that I wasted $10 on at Barnes & Noble with a baby Vegeta. No, not a literal baby infant Vegeta. I'm talking GT, where he gets like Majin mind controlled again, and it's actually pretty badass. The baby arc of GT was like Dragon Ball Z tier of like a good arc. But that's a conversation for another day. We're like 4 minutes into the video, not even talking about James Bond. Y'all probably already clicked off the video. So we are gonna have a visual on my tablet for each movie we're talking about, and then I'll have my handy little light and notes here, kind of getting into it. So, spoiler warnings for most of these movies I'm going to be talking about, especially No Time to Die, and I am being dead ass with anybody who's watching this, for the very few of you that are. If you have not seen No Time to Die, get the fuck off this video. Okay, watch it for yourself. Don't be a spoil whore. Don't go online, look up spoilers. Don't fall for this like SJW, fanboy outrage, whatever side of the spectrum you wanna single out. Don't fall into the outrage. That's just part of advertising for the movie. Or I'm putting my foot in my own mouth. But basically what I'm saying is don't fall for the outrage. It's honestly controlled opposition, if I were to word it like that. Just don't worry about it, okay? Don't spoil it for yourself. Enjoy it. For example, moral of the story, I got bored at a debate tournament back in 2017. I remember this was like shortly after my first lovey-dovey relationship I had in high school. Like I was just going through a breakup. I was really sad. I was really bored at this tournament, waiting for my next round to go up. And this is when The Last Jedi was coming out. And I was about to see it the week after. But I had nothing better to do. I was so impulsive. I lacked discipline. And I looked up the spoilers for The Last Jedi. And I kind of bought into that dogma and outrage over the film. To this day, I'm not a huge fan of it. But when I first saw it in the theaters, I didn't really like it that much. Because I already had this preconceived notion of the movie's going to be shit because they kill Luke Skywalker. And there's Vice Admiral Gender Studies who buddy fucks the whole, basically, resistance from a certain point of view. And there's like Rose Tico, this new character that nobody liked, and Leia goes Mary Poppins. And it's like all these things that kind of got me furled up with preconceived notions of, oh yeah, this movie's going to be shit. And I see it, and I kind of single out those not so good aspects of the movie and just really couldn't enjoy it. So ignore the talk online, see the damn movie for yourself, and you might actually have a good time, because you'll see what I mean when I start getting into it. But we're starting off at number 25, and it is Spectre, as you can see right here on the screen. And it used to be number 12 on my 2016 video that you can still see to this day. It's not a private video anymore. And I think it's been up for quite a few years still. But to make sure, before I filmed even my Kept You Waiting Huh video, I unprivated virtually all my other old videos, so you guys can see it. I want to be an open book. I don't want to, like, yeah, some videos are embarrassing. My voice is high as shit. I'm prepubescent. I got like a Luis Miguel mop top of a head or hairdo. I'm even scrawnier back then. Yada yada. And it's like, I don't care. Like I was a product of my time, and I'm accepting of who I am. So it's like, embarrassing, cringy or not, I'll show you guys old videos of back then. Or if my opinions were changed or wrong. Still, I think it's good that people get to see growth from a certain someone. So this movie, Spectre, used to be number 12. So how has it plummeted 13 spots to the bottom? Now it is my least favorite Bond film in the franchise. And it is simple as this. I'm looking at my notes. The Ernst Stavro Blofeld reveal was just fucking embarrassing. It was like the most unearned thing you could think of when it comes to like fan service. Because before James Bond gets like the hole drilled in his head, which is also like Die Another Day levels of just impossible and plausible and ridiculous and preposterous. He's like, yo, yeah, I'm Ernst Stavro Blofeld. I'm not Oberhauser. He died in a climbing accident 20 years ago. It's my mother's maiden name. It's like, you're fucking kidding. Like, you gotta be, no. I mean, like, the action sequences also don't feel very earned. It's just like, it's just kind of happening. It's just unearned. And then, like, there's the kind of weird controversy about how it feels contrived. Spectre 2015, it feels contrived from Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which came out the same year, because that Alec Baldwin character is trying to, like, basically, it's hard to explain. So they're trying to shut down IMF in Rogue Nation, and Jeremy Renner's kind of fending them off. And then you got C and Spectre, that British guy. Well, they're all fucking British, but that like British cunty guy who's going up against M to shut down the 00 program. So it all seemed a bit contrived. And when it comes to spy movies, 2015, Tom Cruise's and Christopher McQuarrie's Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, of course, has the edge. But the one thing I could give to this movie is the cinematography. If you put this movie on mute and just watch it, it is like the silkiest, like moodiest. It just has this warm look to it. Like Spectre is a very sexy movie to watch, just for the visuals. But when it comes to story, coherence, just the piecing together of the rest of the Craig movies, it just did it in the most undeserved way that kind of makes you mad. And for the record, you know, the next rankings I'll go to, like 24, 23, 22, all these other rankings, it's gonna make people mad. But I want to make one thing clear. I like virtually every James Bond movie. There are parts of Spectre I can even like I said about the cinematography. So again, disclaimer, I like almost all James Bond movies. There's these probably bottom 3, bottom 5 are ones that I did have gripes with that hinder it from being a more than enjoyable movie. But for the most part, I love most of the Bond franchise. And just a disclaimer now out of the gate, even though we're 10 minutes into the video, my rankings of Goldfinger, Skyfall, From Russia with Love, and for some people even Thunderball is going to piss people the fuck off. Because I did rank them relatively low and pretty damn low, like especially Skyfall. And for a lot of people, they'll be pretty outraged by the place in which I ranked Goldfinger, and people are gonna want to fucking kill me for how high I ranked Moonraker and Die Another Day. But it is just my opinion. You know, you guys are free to scrutinize it or even comment how you would have your list go. I would love that more than anything to see what other people think. I want to see like activity if I start getting more views, yada yada, you know, whatnot. So I think kind of beating the dead horse here on Spectre. Let's move on to the next item on the list. Number 24 is For Your Eyes Only. So this one's tricky because, like I said, I like the entirety of the Bond franchise. Yeah, Spectre's the only one that kind of makes me grit my teeth. But now we're in the territory already, one slot over of I don't have vitriol or disdain. It's just For Your Eyes Only is an 80s Cold War flick that lives in the shadow of its predecessors and its sequels. For example, when you think of hard Cold War espionage in the Bond franchise, From Russia with Love started it. And it is a kingpin of Cold War cinema. I think the reason why it was the second Bond movie ever made is because JFK liked that specific Fleming novel so much, the From Russia with Love novel, that it influenced the filmmakers to make it right after Dr. No's success. So you have that. You have The Spy Who Loved Me, which is a giant juggernaut 70s Cold War film. And then you have The Living Daylights, a sequel. You know, it came later in the 80s. And hands down, that is the greatest Cold War film of all time, tooth and nail. And one of the greatest Bond movies ever made, with Timothy Dalton. So it's not that For Your Eyes Only is a particularly bad film. It's just in the context of raw espionage where Bond is actually a spy with global tensions, you know, Cold War setting. It's just kind of like The Ugly Duckling, I guess. But I totally understand people don't like it because it came after Moonraker, brought the Bond franchise down to earth is what they like to quote a lot. Let me see if I can focus it. I don't want to fuck up our video too much, but maybe that looks better. But I think you guys know what I mean as I go on. Roger Moore was great. He gave a very Fleming-esque performance. So yeah, we're going to move on to number 23. And it is Octopussy. So Octopussy's a romp. It's fun, but when I look at James Bond films individually, I'm looking for identity. And you have to ask yourself, is this film acting as a product of its time, like being influenced by other films or other fads that come and go, or is it a product of itself within the Fleming flesh and blood of the books, of the character, of the Bond actor being a thespian off of the Fleming material, or is Broccoli and company, like Cubby Broccoli and his daughter Barbara Broccoli, are they making something special in the context of Bond rather than, oh, The Matrix is big, so Die Another Day is going to be all slow-mo and all that weird shit that did happen in it, or Star Wars came out, so you know, we have Moonraker, we gotta put Bond in space because kids and adults like the space craze now. And Octopussy is kind of that early 80s, like, Indiana Jones clone. And it's kind of perplexing because the whole point of Indy was for George Lucas and Spielberg to have their, like, proxy Bond character, because they were so influenced by Bond in their filmmaking and childhood even. So I don't know, it just feels counterintuitive for them to kind of latch onto the tropical, or I don't want to say mythic, but there's a MacGuffin, like the egg, the weird octopusy egg or ostrich egg throughout this plot. It's a big MacGuffin, and it kind of gets muddled in a Cold War plot that they don't really fully extend, and then they're kind of in India. It's a cool setting, but this film kind of has a very contrived identity, and I wasn't too big on it, but I can still watch it and get enjoyment out of the pre-title sequence with Roger Moore and the tiny, like, BJ micro plane is really freaking cool. All Time High is a nice song in the, as a Bond song. So we're gonna move on to number 22, and it is Thunderball. So Thunderball is like the most Bondian movie I think ever made, because Dr. No was a breakout success. From Russia with Love was just a Cold War juggernaut, and Goldfinger was like the one that, like, hit the bullseye with the Bond formula of, like, yep, this is how a Bond movie's made. So Thunderball simply just continued that, but got beefed up and steroided up with underwater scenes, and I just don't like the pace of this movie. There's really not that much to say about it. The bravado of Bond in this movie is phenomenal, though. Connery is just greased up in his prime. He's killing it. He's very Fleming-esque in this, and he's his own at the same time. He's a Connery Bond. He's his own, which is great. I mean, the more good I have to say about this movie, I think it should be ranked a little higher. So I'll be completely honest about that. I think I'd rank it, actually, in retrospect, probably over You Only Live Twice, now that I'm thinking about how just how big Connery is in this movie. Tom Jones's soundtrack and song is iconic, and the pre-title sequence I think is the best in the entire franchise. So I kind of have to bite my own tongue and place my foot in my mouth momentarily, because I think number 22 is a little too low for this film. But it's what I had ready before the video, so it's something to give you guys to think about. But anyway, moving on. 21. Okay, this is where people are already pissed off. It's Skyfall. So look at it this way. Spectre, I trounced on a little bit. That's 25, dead bottom. I already had good things to say about For Your Eyes Only, 24. 23, Octopussy, yeah, I had some harsh criticisms, but still said it's an enjoyable movie. Thunderball, 22, I already had phenomenal things to say about it. And we're already here at 21. So we're still in the bottom 5. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we're at the bottom 5 still. And I still have great things to say. So it just shows to prove the strength and vitality of the Bond franchise. That the fact that a movie could be the 5th lowest, or however way you put it, properly say it, and I still have great things to say about it. So just put that in perspective. Don't think I'm a criminal for ranking Skyfall so low. It's just personal preferences. Again, this is a personal list. I'm not saying Skyfall is one of the worst James Bond movies. In my opinion, there are just 20 more movies that I'd prefer to watch than Skyfall in most given days. But Skyfall was good. It was a great celebration of the 50th anniversary for the Bond cinematic franchise. I just think it took itself a little too seriously, and the Home Alone shit at the Skyfall mansion is funny, and it is a cool, great action sequence. Silva is one of the greatest Bond villains. Raul Silva, kind of like an even more sinister 006, like a Joker-esque 006, is pretty damn awesome. Excuse me for snorting a bit. It's only October, but I hope mucus season ain't back. But yeah, I just think it was a little too self-dramatic, and a common criticism that I fully agree with is like, oh yeah, it kind of went like Dark Knight Rises with, oh, Bond is an orphan and this is his caregiver, you know, the Ben King, or not the Ben Kingsley, it's the Albert Finney, I believe his name is. It's like, okay, that's an obvious like Alfred thing, and it's just like, yeah, this movie's like trying too hard to be Nolan-esque when it's not. It's a Sam Mendes movie. But I'll still watch Skyfall and I'll have a dashing time with it. And Adele's song is phenomenal. So, still overall, it's a good movie. Yeah, I'd give it like a B plus or a B, even on a bad day. So, yeah, there's that. Oh gosh, it just keeps coming one after the other. So this is number 20, and boy, I probably just keep fucking pissing people off. And number 20 is On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Yeah, I should probably apologize for this one. Because there's so many lists where this tops it out. And to see it near the bottom 5 is probably like super fucking insulting for you guys. Like I'll put it in my perspective. When I see people put The Living Daylights less than number 10 or 11, because in my heart, in my head, I think it's top 3, subjective or objective. I think Living Daylights is one of the greatest action movies out there and just one of the best Bond movies ever made. So when somebody's like, oh yeah, On Her Majesty's is just an artful masterpiece, and they see me put it like near the bottom, they probably want to fucking shank me. And I can't blame you for that. Just when it comes to me, kind of like Skyfall, I don't like the overly seriousness of Bond. Like, it's the male fantasy of escape, and I think a man being vulnerable, settling down for himself, and having his wife die is like not the go-to thing. And in all fairness, Casino Royale is like very top of my list basically, and everything I just said about Majesty is shit that happens in Casino Royale. So, you know, I'm speaking at both ends of my mouth, but you know, I wasn't a fan of the editing. Like, it was too close up on the face. It speeds up and slows down in action sequences, and it just looks like it just sticks out like a sore thumb. But I'll still watch it. I'll still get enjoyment out of it. I'll probably watch it. I probably watch this movie like once every 2 years just to revisit it. And I have a good time. The ending is very poignant. As you guys know, spoiler, Tracy gets murdered on their wedding day. She gets shot up by Blofeld and one of his henchwomen. And it was just a kick in the balls, because it's like, he was just trying to settle down. He was done. He was out of the picture, but Spectre had to basically change his life completely. So, yeah, a lot of great, amazing things about this movie. Again, it ranks low for me, but still high quality. So we're going to move on next to number 19. It's You Only Live Twice. So in all honesty, I think I would put You Only Live Twice below Majesty, Skyfall, and Thunderball. So, like, it's too late now, obviously, but in retrospect, I would have swapped this by 3 places. But You Only Live Twice, it's super iconic for the Austin Power mythos, if you know what I mean. Like, with Dr. Evil and scarred villains and goofy villains and just whack shit. James Bond gets a Japanese plastic surgery. Just, it's wacky. It's basically what happens when Sean Connery makes his 5th James Bond movie. This is exactly what happens. But I still watch it for just to see what happens, I guess. I don't know. I don't really have a huge sentimental thing for You Only Live Twice, but I like to watch it. And I don't think it's a bad movie. I just think it just kind of jumps the shark in some areas, I guess. But we're going to move on next to The Man with the Golden Gun. Scaramanga, Christopher Lee, is just, he's phenomenal. I think him, Dr. No, Silva, and 006 probably have to be some of my favorite villains. And this is like the one movie, And out of all places, as intellectually dry sponge of a brain that Rotten Tomatoes is, I think one of their consensuses where the critics said this is like one of the first Bond movies where the villain overshadows Bond himself, and they kind of said that derogatively, but I say that's a positive. That's a really good thing about this film. I kind of like the kung fu-ness of this movie. Bond is in Thailand. He's in a very like tropical, or not tropical, but like just a very like foliaged setting. And that big rock island he's on, his final showdown with Scaramanga. It's a slow burner, but I like it. It's a fun movie. It's also like it also has dark comedy too. And Bond, like Roger Moore, even though this wasn't the performance he originally wanted to do, because the producers were like, hey, you got to be more like Connery because, you know, Lazenby didn't work out. You did your thing in Live and Let Die, but we need you to be a little more hard like Connery would be. Like he slaps a woman, grabs her wrist, almost breaks her arm when she pulls a gun on him. So like there's some moments that don't feel Moorish, but it's more channeling more of Fleming's dark humor, I guess, and it shows in this film, and it's an interesting like relic of that time, I guess. But that is number 18. Number 17. Let's go. Quantum of Solace. This movie's pretty controversial because there's not a whole lot of people that rank it too high, but people who rank it to the middle or not low kind of get flack of like, oh, what do you mean Quantum is like one of the worst Bond movies? And I could see how people think that. Excuse me, I'm gonna get a drink of water. I noticed that it's like 2 a.m, my voice is getting scratchy, so I'm just gonna take a swig. Okay, hopefully that lubricates my throat. I sound more decent to listen to. In my notes here I say Craig channeling License to Kill Timothy Dalton, and because this is literally minutes and hours after Casino Royale when he shoots Mr. White in the foot and leg, puts him in his trunk and takes him to wherever they were in Italy, and he's grieving. He's angry that initially, as it seemed, he was deceived by Vesper. He's unforgiving, he's grieving, and he's angry. And it's kind of made him a feral, kind of untamed beast for a good part of this movie. Like he just kind of busts through all the obstacles. He busts through M and her men, trying to basically make him heal, make him stop, make him have a sense of decorum. So it's like you can tell he took inspiration from Dalton or is channeling that kind of bruteness, and I like that. And the polythriller aspect, you know, CIA is getting involved with Dominic Green. He's supposed to be this evil Spectre quantum guy, and nobody really sees it because he's kind of playing both sides. And the CIA is like, well, we can get oil for this water scheme, so we don't see the problem. So I like that aspect. It's like a early mid 2000s political thriller to some extent. And the writer's strike really did fuck up this movie. In Daniel Craig's own words, he said the writer's strike fucked Quantum of Solace. You can find articles quoting him, and it shows because Mark Forster and Daniel Craig had to basically write chunks of the movies themselves. And if you couldn't tell, Daniel Craig is an actor and Mark Forster is a director. They are not writers. So it I don't know, can you blame them for a bad financial global economy that fucked up the film industry for a bit too? No. It just happened, and they did their best to rectify it. And Quantum, as it stands, is a middling movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. To be a middling movie in the Bond franchise means you're still pretty good, to put it that way. Let me drink some more water. Having hella Marco Rubio moments when he did the fucking State of the Union and fucking stopped mid-speech to drink water. But yeah, number 17, that does it for Quantum of Solace. I mean, I would say, leaving off, Olga Kurylenko, one of my, like, probably Hollywood female or whatever crushes, kind of my, like, woman crush of Hollywood. She's probably one of my favorite Bond girls, and she's great in this movie. And her and Bond aren't too romantic. They kind of join each other out of survival of the circumstance. But yeah, moving on, number 16. I'll get a little shit for this now. It's From Russia with Love. And From Russia with Love is a bit too much of a slow burner for me to place it any higher. It does suffer from pacing issues, a lot like Thunderball, that kind of keep it from skyrocketing, maybe in my top 10 or top 12. But other than that, the climax is phenomenal. His fight with Red Grant is cemented in cinema, not even just 007 history, but cinema history with that train fight. And the Cold War mystique that this film carries is unparalleled. Like other than The Living Daylights and The Spy Who Loved Me that can hold a torch to it, it is practically unparalleled. And the soundtrack is probably the best in the franchise. So that's speaking on more objective terms, but on a subjective matter of just how me, Mr. Clean looking head ass Jack Norton likes his Bond movies. It's just a different story. I have different preferences. I grew up watching Dalton and Brosnan for a good chunk of my childhood, so I'm kind of more gravitated towards how those, the filmmaking of those movies and how they were made. But yeah, that's From Russia with Love. It holds a solid place, and yeah. And then I ruined things again by putting A View to a Kill at number 15. And the way Spectre plummeted on the list since last time on my 2016 list, which you can still see to this day, it's still on YouTube. A View to the Kill skyrocketed. It was dead bottom, and now it's number 15. So it basically went up like 9 or 10 places. And that's because I realized that, no, this isn't some bad movie where Roger Moore's an old man. This is like a Pink Panther comedy. And when I finally, with a Goldfinger plot, so when I finally understood that, of like the perspective to have with the intent of how it was made and how a lot of people enjoy it, I was like, oh, yeah, it's kind of funny. I like the camp of it. And it's a pretty enjoyable movie to watch throughout the way. Again, I would probably put From Russia with Love above this on second thought, but that's only a spot difference, so I'm not really gonna make myself think it's the end of the world because of that. So yeah, so be it. View to Kill is 15. It's middling in the list and still a very enjoyable movie. Christopher Walken's great, and yeah, as far as I can say for that, I think we're already 33 minutes in. We're at 15, so I'm probably gonna take like a hydration break and pick up at number 14. So there's gonna be a part 2 for this, so just stand by.